Hello, everyone, or no one. Either way, hello. So, where the hell are you guys been? You've been emailing me and telling me, "Are you gonna have live? Where are you? Are you gonna have live?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "I'm having breakfast in some cafe, and I'm on my way home to do that." Now here I am. Where the hell are you guys? So maybe I should just go back to rest of my breakfast and stay in the cafe a little bit longer, socializing. What am I doing here if you guys are not here? Come on, hurry up. So we have Salio Barry says, hello, sit. I think T and R are right beside each other. I think you wanted to say, sir. Thank you for that. and uh, and don't forget about the protocol: age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. Please. Um, Kuro says yay, and that's all right. But again, I need after the hello, I need gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. So don't forget. I mean, we have expression in Farsi that says, "From having said this so many times, I'm growing hair on my tongue." So, meaning, God damn it, get with the program. And so there we go. Kevi Med. Now my glasses is Kevi Med says 27 male Illinois. Oh my goodness, the Windy City. I went to Illinois long time ago. Once we drove from Portland. I used to go to university in Portland, in from Lake Oswego, Lewis and Clark, and we drove with two of my friends. The two of us were driving. The other one was too young to drive, so he was just resting in the back. He was from, I think, Mexico, and my friend was from Chicago. He was born and raised there. And so we start driving. It took us 48 hours straight through. He would sleep, I would drive, I would sleep, he would drive. And we finally got there, and it was interesting. And then the next time I was there, I was there for business, and that was I think about 30 some years ago, 35 years ago. And one night I was walking outside of my hotel area just to see what the area is all about. It was quite interesting. I found this little, um, I don't know, jazz bar. It was like a bunch of stairs going down from the street into kind of a you know underground type of thing. And then it was beautiful music, and the musicians were playing jazz, and it was very authentic looking and sounding. It's quite an interesting experience for me because I'd only seen these things in like movies and whatnot. That was just exact atmosphere as we would see in the movie. So, anyhow, we have Saliu Berry 28 from Minnesota. Thank you for that. Must be cold there now, no? And Prikas is Prikas. Here's the credentials: age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Says the president of United Nations started that the best citation in the world in 2023 is, if this wheel doesn't turn for me, it doesn't give a damn if it turns at all. There you go. And Orlando Osuna says, Orlando 45, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you for that. Says, been broken up for 7 weeks. No, 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 no. You were not broken up. Change the vocabulary. Vocabulary words have meanings. Meanings cannot be contested as it has a certain registered meaning in the dictionary. So it delivers a certain meaning that could affect your psyche. Always use words that would be positively affecting you and meaning what it's supposed to mean, not further than that. So when you say been broken up for 7 weeks, although I know what you're trying to say, but your brain doesn't necessarily realize the context you're using it for, and you keep saying it to yourself or thinking it as a short sentence, but in fact, it delivers a certain negative energy to you saying that you're broken up. That means you're not intact, you've been hurt. And that is a subliminal message that you'll be giving yourself. So don't use these words. Say, my girlfriend and I are no longer together. That leaves no special message into your subconscious or your consciousness, because there's no subconscious, it's all consciousness. I don't know why somebody comes to subconscious. It's just all conscious, all part of the same housing. Now, whatever level it has makes no difference. Anyhow, so I have not been, my girlfriend and I have not been together for the past 7 weeks. I keep having thoughts about her, okay? And she was very attractive, yeah. And we had a lot of sexual chemistry, okay? I know intellectually that she is a woman without morals and post with a pot habit. Oh, she's a joint smoker. All right, so where's the rest of the story? Ah, there it is. And it says, nonetheless, we always had a good time together. Well, yeah, okay, you had a good time. Like I had told you in previous lives, she accused me of being controlling. Most women who don't have much morals or want to be tied down to certain proper behavior or decision making or uh, proper value judgment to meet your standards or their partner's standards, they claim that you're controlling because the fact that you're saying something contrary to what they want and how they want to run their lives and according to their fun and comfort level and pleasure and without any responsibility towards how it's going to affect themselves, the people around them, their future, their relationship. When you make a certain kind of a corrections or offer an opinion or objection to how it makes you feel or affects the relationship, they come out and say you're controlling. And that has been the phrase that have been used to cop out in any responsibility that they should bear on their own side. And instead, they just rely on that. And unfortunately, that controlling has had a negative connotation. And as soon as somebody says, the person who's hearing it feels guilty, as if he's doing something wrong. In many cases, while controlling in a negative way is of course frowned upon and is not advisable, is not condoned, but when someone is really not able to find the way and is about to fall in the ditch holes or potholes, or it's not able to see what's ahead, if somebody grabs her hand or his hand and guides him or her, that's not controlling. That's helping him so he won't fall, so he won't go into hardship, and he won't affect the relationship that that person actually is in. Excuse me. So this word controlling, it has a bad connotation, but in fact, in some ways, is very beneficial depending on the situation. It's like saying a general is very controlling for the unit. Well, that's his job, to make sure that the unit is not going to be hurt, that they will be able to be safe, they would be able to accomplish what they set out to accomplish. So we can change that. If they change the same word that you're controlling, saying that you're constantly providing guidelines and you're constantly providing guidance, so this will come to a good fruition, well, then there is no negative connotation in there, is there? So this business of using this word is an excuse to shy away and shoulder away from the responsibility that they're supposed to be bearing. Every relationship needs to adhere to certain principles, standards, and expectations, and qualities, and characteristics. You can't just want to do whatever the hell it is that you want to do, regardless of how it's going to affect the other one, and then claim that I'm in a relationship, but I'm free. Well, what the hell does that mean? Everybody is free. But being free doesn't mean to ignore everything that makes a relationship whole and sound and decent. If you want to be free to the point that you don't want to adhere to what's necessary for a healthy relationship, then just fuck off and go and live by yourself. Don't be in a relationship with me. Because just because I expect certain standards to be met, that doesn't mean I'm controlling. That doesn't mean I'm being malicious to the relationship, or I'm stopping you from being free or myself from being free. It just means there has to be a certain foundation to be able to hold the structure on it. And if that foundation is not prepared properly, that structure will not hold. And that foundation are the standards and expectations and moralities and matters that is going to affect that relationship and each partner in that relationship. They should come up to some understanding and compatibility in the direction that they want to take this relationship, based on certain rules and regulations and policies that would benefit the relationship, rather than their individual cases based on just, I want to be free, do whatever I want to do. Well, then don't be in a relationship, because it's a compromise and you got to figure that out. So, having said that, and it says, now I think it was due to her lack of morals. She did a lots of unacceptable. Yeah, okay. So you can think of her if you want, but you don't need to desire her. Because after you think of her, the pleasurable part, also then remember all the shortcomings that she had, and then move on. Steven says, hi, Mara. Hello, Steven. Let's see if I jumped over anything here. And Prika still hasn't given me the age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. And Abhishek says, hello, Mr. Meron. Hello, Abhishek. And Steven says, got busy, so we'll try to listen when I can. Plus, still need to go over that question. All right. Kevin Med says, I never met anyone else, but the action of talking to others and being flirty could be seen as cheating. That's something I really don't like, and I just don't like that I did that at all. Okay, I don't quite get the message here, but is it something that you did? You shouldn't have done the flirty things. Yeah, it's true. If you're in a relationship, you don't want to be flirt with other women. And if she is in a relationship, she shouldn't be flirting with other men or expressing interest to get their attention. If two people who are together cannot settle with being elated or satisfied with the partner's attention, and they still seek other people's attention, they're fucked up. They need not to be in a relationship. They need to go and find their way, because they're gonna create lots of hardship and tension and anxiety for the other partner for no goddamn reason. If they cannot understand the meaning of a relationship, they shouldn't be fucking in there. And these are choice words, come from French background. When I get really heavy into discussion, they just automatically are expressing themselves. You see, it's better to express your emotions in more than one language, and then it's more effective that way. Anyhow, Orlando Asuna says, recently I ran into a TikTok of a friend of her where my ex was in it. Orlando, you're pursuing this character after you've broken up with her. The healthy thing for you is don't give a fuck. Just move on with other girls, other situations. Don't follow her. Why are you following her? If she was good, she would still be with you. If you guys were compatible, you would still be together. If you're not, that means you're not compatible. If you're not compatible, why you constantly follow an ass of someone that is not compatible with you? Why are you following that tail? What for? Just to prove what? And you still would do, oh, she was pretty, but why is she doing this? Well, it doesn't matter how pretty or sexy she was. She doesn't worth a shit if she does not mean or she does not meet your expected qualities. Because you're not going to have a relationship with the look and the sexuality of a woman. You're going to have a relationship with the content of her consciousness. And if that content was not compatible with yours and ended up you guys are no longer together, then that means that person is not suitable for you. She got to find somebody else that can put up with her shit, and you got to find somebody else that can put up with your shit. So, having said that, so eloquently, I move on to and Wahida says, "You're amazing." I know that, but do everybody else on YouTube know it? Obviously not, because we have only 13 people here. But 13 is better than zero. Let's put it that way. Thank you, Wahida. Wahida, tell me about your age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. There are two pictures in your thumb screen, or what is it, thumbnail. So I don't know which one. Vahida, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not familiar with your language and cultures, customs, and culture, but possibly it seems Vahida, in my limited understanding, could be a lady's name. No, I don't mean to be offensive. I just don't know how it was. Just usually because, like Russian names, if it's, for example, having Nova at the end, Ova, it usually indicates it's a woman's name. I don't know, something. So I thought maybe Vahida, coming from some other cultures that I'm kind of familiar in their sound of their names, with this ending may mean it's a woman's name. But then again, I've been surprised in some other languages when it has a little additional ending that actually means it's a man's name. So, uh, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean any disrespect. It's just the way it sounds to me. So you can clear it for me, and I can then get that information. Orlando says, it made me feel very upset to see her having a good time with her friends. Well, you should get over it, because she's going to have a good time with her friends and you're going to have a good time with your friend. But as long as you're in love with your ego and you allow your ego to be dictating how you should feel or think, and you allow your ego to be more important than you, then you will follow your ego's ass and your desire. As long as you allow desire and ego be seem more important to than you are, then you're the slave and you're not really yourself. You're following some kind of a narrative that they put on their own due to their own shortcomings, ego and the desire. But if you understand that they work for you, they are part of you and they should obey your judgment and decision making, then you say, fuck off, ego and desire. This is not something that I would want to spend my time with and choose to be in a relationship with. So you guys want it, you go ahead. I'm not authorizing it. That's the end of that, pretty much. Aman says 21, male, India. Thank you, Aman. And Abhishek says, Mr. Mehran, oh, you forgot the N, I'm half Mera. I found you as a guidance when I was in touch times, in tough times, I guess, in tough times. Then I started exploring more people, like I stumbled upon something, Akarya Prashant, Jiddu Krishnamurti. I said, Jiddu Krishnamurti is, I'm not in his level. He's actually a mentor to me. I have studied his work thoroughly, and of course, I'm not in his level, but I'm glad that you have had a chance to get to know his work. Says they also guide very well. Excellent. Jiddu Krishnamurti is uh, is uh, is an amazing intelligence and has amazing foresight. He was way before any of these gurus that have become very famous today. Way older, and he started teaching in 1920s. Uh, in 1920s, neither Tony Robbins or Eckhart Tolle were alive. And all these other gurus that they help people, none of them were alive or knowledgeable about the things that they seem to be knowledgeable now. And I like to see more of the famous, successful uh, um, role models, so to speak, or gurus in the world to honor the pioneers of these understandings that we talk about in regards to thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, mechanical process, material process, order of life, and so on and so forth, which Mr. Jiddu Krishnamurti was the pioneer of that in 1920s. But none of these gurus seem to be honoring them as much as they deserve or at all, as if they have come up with all these knowledge on their own and they have not even heard about Mr. Jiddu Krishnamurti. In some ways, some of these people um, that are very active in the world seem like they want to only pretend, oh, well, I know who Jiddu Krishnamurti is, but I never studied his work. That's all bullshit, in my opinion. So I would like to see more credit to Mr. Jiddu Krishnamurti and his work. He taught for over 60, 70 years around the world, India, United Kingdom, United States, Canada, and psychologists and quantum physics professors used to gather around him and ask their questions and interests from him, and they would discuss. And he had not read anyone else's book. He had found all these understanding inwardly throughout his life. His life story is very interesting, and in my book, uh, I have mentioned and appreciated his teachings, as it has been instrumental to my understanding, better understanding of my own psyche and ability that it gave me to combine with whatever I could do and understood in my life as experiences and other researchers to help other people. So I am appreciative to Mr. Jiddu Krishnamurti, and I love him very much. SNG says, hello, General. Hello, Sid. Says, male 34 Manchester. How are you doing, dear? Orlando Osuna says, why are we attached to people that are bad for us? Because the bad people who actually provide an intermittent admiration or intermittent affirmation or kindness to you or satisfaction. And so every time that happens, you get dopamine secreted in your brain. And in the striatum, where uh, reward center is, it secretes dopamine. And because that what they do, the pleasure they offer, or satisfaction, uh, or positive atmosphere they create, these sort of bad people, is not constant and continuous, and it's once in a while. So dopamine is secreted once in a while, but you will always be expecting that to happen again. So you be thirsty for that dopamine from that source. That's why when they create that kudos to you and you feel good about it, it's a memorable event. And the dopamine that is secreted because of that is very pleasurable, and you seek more of it. So you're constantly, impatiently waiting for the next opportunity that you would see their satisfaction from you, and you're being conditioned to provide service and pleasing them in order to get that momentary, intermittent dopamine through their expression of satisfaction. So that becomes a little conditioning and addiction. And every time that the dopamine is secreted in the striatum, there is also stimulation of the habit center, because reward seeking center and goal finding center and reward center and habit center, they're all on top of each other on striatum. So you stimulate one, you stimulate all three of them. So this dopamine business and expectations for that high is also stimulating the habit center. And after a while, you don't even know why you like them, because it has become a habit, automatic reaction, expectation of yours for their satisfaction toward you, because it gives you the dopamine, and it has caused and stimulated the habit center to the point that you don't even recognize that it's a habit that you want to be around them, not that their quality is sufficient and high enough for you to want to be with them. It's just like what drug does. It gives you a certain kind of pleasure, but it's not really allowing you to think about what you're doing to get the pleasure. You just focus on the pleasure by habit rather than by focusing mindfulness and paying full attention what it is that you're doing and getting that pleasure from. So the old discussion of if something makes you feel good doesn't mean it's actually also good for you. So you got to make sure that what makes you feel good, is it also good for me? Two different things. And then you can find the balance there. Abhishek says sometimes, oh, where was he? We didn't finish that, did we? Why we attach to people that they're bad for us. Says, please advise to move on. Okay, I just did. The way she broke up with me was very upsetting. I asked her if she was totally sure about what she wanted, and she said yes. I felt she was very empowered when I should be the one dismissing her and breaking up with her. That's all right. She already knew that you're going to dismiss her, so she took a jump at it to make you feel kind of left behind. That's all right. Doesn't matter. You got what you wanted anyhow. So you wanted to leave her, and that's what happens. Focus on that. Don't focus on who won, who lost, and all that bullshit. Just go on, enjoy your life. Life is not summed up in her. Abhishek says sometimes what you say and what Akarya, Prashant, and Jiddu Krishnamurti say goes in same direction. Do you know about them as well? As I mentioned, I know Mr. Jiddu Krishnamurti thoroughly, as far as I can, have had the chance to study his work. But the other gentleman, I don't know. The other person, I don't know. Stephen says, another thing I forgot to mention last night is that I feel like I would have done things differently in the relationship it wouldn't have ended like it did. What are your thoughts? God damn it! I gave you my thoughts last night in detail, and I gave you my thought again, my thought again on the Skype today. What the fuck is wrong with you that you keep asking that? That's what we talked about last night. That's a habit center that is taken over your OCD, and you're now doing the OCD ritual as a habit to the point that you don't even know you're doing the OCD shit. You're constantly trying to be assured that it's not because if you would have done something else, these things would have turned differently. And I'm telling you so many times that it's got nothing to do with you have done something else differently or not. She's full of shit and she's just trying to play this to put the blame of the breakup on you so you won't be looking at her as someone, the scumbag who left and went to some other guy. Simple. I said the same thing and I say the same thing. If someone genuinely is interested to keep a relationship going and she voices her concern and the man says, okay, honey, let me know what the problems are, let's work on it, and let me know specifically what it is that my shortcomings are, how things should be different in your opinion as far as my treatment of you, and I would love to work on it. Isn't that what the fuck you said to her? Yes, you did. You told me you did. But did she go for it? No. The asshole, and you should think of it that way, had a plan in order to cover up their own shortcomings and instigation for breakup so they won't take the blame, they won't look bad. They put the blame on you to make you think that if you would have thought in a different way, you would have worked and behaved in a different way, and things would have been different. You weren't a monster. You didn't do anything bad. I know about it because you've told me. And your relationship was cordial. The rest of it is playing on your weak brain that she's actually has shit on it and it's full of garbage right now to the point that you can't even see clear that you've been a decent guy. Any relationship that things are not exactly as they should be, the two couple who have good intentions, they would discuss it, talk about it, to find ways to compromise, to modify, to fix things. This bitch didn't do that. And I say it that way because I want to change the narrative that you've created of her in your brain. And you constantly think it's a sin to see her as she is. She went to someone else. And you got to understand that. And in order for her to have a good reputation in your brain and not be blamed for what she has done and broke up the relationship, she has created this atmosphere in your brain and you're falling for it. Why? Because that's your shortcoming. You believe everything that the girl says if they complain about you because you've become a pleaser. And you got to just grow a pair and don't give a shit. That's my final answer to that. I hope you don't ask it again, because then I would have to ask my colleague, the ugly stick, to come and have a chat with you. All right. Again, like keep her interest more somehow in me. Like, what are you, a clown? Entertainer? Why am I supposed to keep her interest on me all the time, beside all the gentlemanly and natural and balanced things that I could simply do? I'm not supposed to be an entertainer. I'm not responsible for her happiness. She's responsible for her happiness. I'm responsible to be as good a person as I am and treat her as best as I can. And if there's something that she wants more or something that I want more, I gotta sprech. I gotta talk it out. I gotta say it to her and she gotta say it to me. That's the secret of a good relationship. Communication. She doesn't want to communicate. She wants you to have ESP, and then she wants you to question all your behavior when she's the one who should be taking the blunt of the responsibility of what she has caused and created the ending for this relationship. So stop being such a naive man. Aman Gatpal says, oh no, I jumped over Hugo. Hugo says, hello, Mr. Miran. Is it normal to have no more libido when you have HOCD? Of course. As I mentioned, I always use this analogy that Jesse, in his YouTube channel, used it, and I always like to give credit where it's due. And he's the one who coined this analogy, but I think it's brilliant. He said, imagine for this question they just asked, he says, imagine if you're swimming in a pond and you've got an alligator right on your ass with jaws open this much, is about to cut your ass into half. And you're swimming frantically away to save your life. And that moment, you're asking, why am I not having an erection? Well, fuck A, you're not going to have any kind of erection whatsoever or any kind of a feeling about anything else other than saving your ass because you're frantically in anxiety and fear of the alligator cutting you into pieces. So that's what happens when you have HOCD. You're so frantically worried about all these narratives and the bullshit that the brain is putting out, and you don't realize that obviously you're not going to be able to be focused on things that you normally are focused on. Your body would react naturally in the way that it will always react. It's a different situation. It's a violent situation. It's a survival situation that you're in. You're not going to be having an erection or libido or whatever else that you want to call it. So all right. Aman Gatpal says, I don't know why I'm feeling so bad. I'm not getting attention from that girl I told you about a lot. Recently, I commented on her mom tweet and she asked her mom to unfollow me. Since that, she maybe got a lot my attention. So now she's on cloud nine, I guess, because of my wrong action. Always I feel bad because I feel like she lose her thoughts about me and attention giving to me. Look, you need to get over this business of seeking attention of the others. That's going to ruin your life. When you're not giving a shit and just focus on accomplishing the goals that you want to accomplish in life, the other people, whether they pay attention to you or not, it will be automatic. But you seeking it, it turns you into a beggar, and it turns you into someone that becomes needy, and other people will fly away from the needy people. So you're creating a situation where its results are unfavorable to you, and then you complain, why is the results unfavorable to me? Because you're creating it. As soon as a girl knows you're needy, you need her attention, she will stop giving it to you. You got to understand that. Girls, as pretty as they are, they're human beings with the psychological shortcoming as everybody else has. You offer yourself 100% to them, they get jaded, they get too confident. They say, well, he's not a challenge. And if he's not a challenge, that means I'm nothing. I'm not valuable. Why? Because I feel valuable, she thinks, only if I cannot get someone. And then I get their attention. But once I get the attention more than normal, then I feel they're no longer a challenge. And if they're not a challenge, I don't feel valuable. It's a fucked up way of thinking, but that's the human psyche. And that's true about the girls as well. So you need to stop being needy, then the girls will pay attention to you. Don't try to pretend that I don't need you and so on. No, don't be like that either. Do your life, do your things, do your studies, do your activities that you're supposed to do. You see a girl, you be gentle, you be cordial, but don't expect so much attention from her, or don't try to get her attention by certain expressions and certain, intentions purposely to constantly get her involved with yourself. Don't. Moderation. Salt is good if there's a little bit on the food. You put too much, they want to vomit. Pepper, the same. Fat, the same. Create a balance in what you offer in life. and balance in what you think you need. Same thing in everything. As delicious as it may be, a food, a tandoori chicken, a rice dish, you eat too much of it, you can't. You start vomiting, throwing up. Moderation. Moderation in you needing something and moderation in you offering what other people may seem they need from you. Then you will have a certain kind of a value in their minds. Not everybody is going to figure these things out for you. You need to regulate it. And Sid says, I hope you are well. It is what time of the month again? It is that time of the month again. What? You have your periods? Because that's usually what the kind of conversation you would have with your girlfriend or women have with each other, that, oh, it's that kind of the month, that time of the month again. Okay, that means I'm a little bit not balanced. So what is it that you're trying to refer to? This is, I have so many things in life which are good at the moment, like my job, friends, health, ability to travel, but I'm unable to be grateful. Then fuck you. That's your problem. You need to find being grateful in every little good things that you have. And unless you commit to it and you create that and you focus on it, that kind of a gratefulness would not naturally express itself. And then the effect of being grateful will not benefit you. You need to be grateful to feel good. So find things that you can be grateful. And you don't have to look too far. I'm grateful for this tea that I'm going to have. I would be even more grateful if it was a little bit warmer. But I'm still grateful that it's warm. Look, I'm grateful that I'm sitting here and having the opportunity to talk, because one of the extras of life is to know now what you would come to know tomorrow. Don't wait for tomorrow to be proven that the time has passed. You should have enjoyed yesterday. Yesterday. What is scarce is time, especially when you get older. You're very young right now. You might not notice what I'm referring to. But I am beginning to see the wisdom of what I just said, which I couldn't have even fathomed, think of it, 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Learn to appreciate the moment with all your might, for this very inexpensive and abundant moment will become expensive and scarce sooner than you think. So stop the bullshit. I can't be grateful. Fuck you. You gotta be grateful because that's all you got. And that's the time to be grateful. You won't be grateful when you're too old for all the wonderful things that you had. Enjoy the spirit of what you have. Don't wait for big things to be grateful. Big things are once in every few years. And you will still never be grateful enough. Why? Because you haven't been continuously grateful to create the conditioning and through neuroplasticity, the habit of being grateful and happy all day. Happiness is a Happiness is a habit. You can't find to have a reason to be happy. You got to find the reasons among the shit that you're dealing with. Otherwise, you will miss every chance that you could have turned it into a happier moment. So, be the architect of your happiness. Be the architect of your gratefulness. Don't wait for things to happen to press you to be happy, to impress you to be happy. Create the excuse to be happy. It's your creation happiness. It's not from out there. Nobody gives a fuck about you to make you happy. Everybody is looking and trying to make themselves happy. So if you're waiting for something or somebody to have an intention, a sole intention to make you happy, you're going to be waiting for a long time. So wake up and smell the coffee. It's up to you. I can't find it. There's no formula to it. There's no map and direction to it. There it is, Sid. It's waiting for you there. No. You create it. That's where happiness is, in your intention, not in its having been created somewhere out there for you to find it. Got it? I hope to God so. All right. Treat yourself better with proper logic. Stop this bullshit. Put the responsibility of what you're seeking on yourself, not on the events of the world or what somebody else can do for you. It's neither here nor there. So Sid says this is the first thing. Second, I want to get out of Manchester and I know what I need to do for it. I was working on it, but my current professor is blocking one publication. So I'm working on a new one, but the point is I'm trying to get out from here and go somewhere else, new country, city, but something keeps coming in the way. I guess I'm just low. Can you help me with this? I don't understand, why is this such a rush thing for you to keep moving your ass from one country to another? You've created this business of thinking that your happiness is in geographical areas. If I'm not happy here, I gotta go somewhere else. What's this fucking rush for? You can be happy here or miserable here. If you want to be happy according to the nature of a place, okay, I understand that. But sometimes you may have to wait. By pressing something doesn't necessarily make it go in if the premise is not suitable. For example, if you're having a nail and trying to shove it through another steel plate, and the steel plate is fake, it doesn't matter how much you press, it's just not going to go in. But why do you keep doing it? You got to have patience, find the right tools, maybe put a hole into the steel with some drill, and then put this thingy, hammer it in. But you don't want to. You just want to push it in. And if it's not happening, you just be stressed and upset and then be impatient. And then you fuck up the whole thing that you're actually creating. Impatience is one of the problems that you have been dealing with. And I don't really see you have gained much from this, that you've created it to be your habit. So I'm thinking you find a reasonable way through patience and diligent work that you are obviously doing and get these stumbling blocks away. But this is what life is. You want to go to second floor, there's stairs that you got to negotiate. You can't say, well, I want to go up, but there are stairs. Well, fucking negotiate the stairs. You can't expect the stairs to disappear and the second floor come down so you can be there and there anytime you want and switch it with the first floor, second floor, third floor without having to go up the stairs. You got to negotiate the stairs. There are certain stumbling blocks and steps you got to take in order to get to your destination, to your goals. You got to negotiate those things. These are part of life, part of getting where you want to get. Think of them as a mountain and the nature that you love to be in. You hike and you go up the mountain, up the elevations, and you don't give a shit. You negotiate the hardship of getting up there because you're enjoying the journey, the experience. You got to look at life in some similar way, although it might not be all as pleasant as the explanation I just did, example that I just gave you, but still you got to look at life as something that is, its nature is negotiating different steps and different stages. And I am capable of doing that. That's what you should become master of. Not every time that there's a stair and a step to negotiate, say, oh shit, there's a stair, I have to, something stopping me, blah, 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 blah. Something is stopping you. Will learn to negotiate that stair better. It's like saying, well, there's a cliff, I can't go up, but I've been going up to any other mountain. Well, just change the technique. You might have to learn how to use ropes and how to use these gears to knock it into the stone and grab onto the rope and then rope it up. It's a different technique of climbing, but you want to use the same technique no matter if it's an uphill, stairs, or a cliff, and expect it all work out. And if it doesn't, so oh, something is stopping me. No, nothing is stopping you. It's just a different technique you got to unleash in order to negotiate that stage and that challenge. And then you will go up from that too. You're constantly focusing on the challenge rather than on the solution to the challenge. My professor is not publishing it. They'll find out why and then alleviate that condition that is needed for him to remove that whatever. The professor is not an idiot. Maybe there's a reason for that publication. Maybe they've got their own hands full of some issues. Maybe it's get some kind of a negative attention for his level of whatever he wants to achieve. Maybe it's ask him why you're holding it nicely, politely, constructively, and then get that information and say, what should I do in order to make it work? Then go do that. It seems to me you're constantly focusing on the problems and not trying to find what the problem is to be able to bring about the solution to the problem. You get stuck on the problem rather than saying every problem, most problems have a solution. It's a lock. Well, I don't have the key. Let me find the key. Not that it's a lock. I don't have the key. I don't know what to do. Well, go find the key. Get a locksmith. Bring him. Show him. Learn it. Study the lock yourself. Pick the lock. Do something that you got to do. But you got to communicate, figure out, search, research. I have faith in you. You can do anything. You can accomplish anything. You just don't fucking want to do it if it's not done in the first round. That's not life. It hasn't been for me. All right. Don't piss me off now. All right. Alice, what happened to you guys? Why don't you guys offer the information that I asked? 3 things. Alice, age, gender, where are you tuning in from? Or did you do that up there? Says, now I found a girl that cares about my mental health. Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay, Alice, or at least that's your screen name. But I need to know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. All right. I'll get back to it when I have that. Kuros is 26, male, California. Hello, thank you for that. Muhammad Omar says male, 30, US. Thank you for that. Travis says, what's your take, KN? What's your take on dating single moms? Travis, I need age, gender, where are you tuning in from first? Alexander Kesisoglu, that's a Turkish name, isn't it? Am I right? Says, hello, Mehran. Mr. Mehran, my name is Alexander, 33, from Greece. Oh, Greece. Okay. Kesisoglu. But Kesisoglu, it's a Turkish last name, isn't it? Alexandros, I understand. That could be Greek name for sure. But Kesisoglu sounds Turkish to me. So clear that up. Says, I had a relationship with a girl at first, was very giving. But then I learned that the last 6 months we were together, she was with another guy. Oh, okay. Says, all began because I was away and studying law school, and she responded that she wants someone close to her. Yeah, long distance things don't work. Pat Santos says, New York 27 says, why OCD intrusive thoughts go away and come back? That's the nature of it. It's not like it's like a cold. Cold can go and come back, and you deal with it every time it comes back the same, and it goes away again. A brain is like any other organ. It can also malfunction and get sick and all that, so we deal with it. We don't have a problem when something else goes wrong. We go find out what we should do. But when it comes to the brain, we think, oh my goodness, that's the hell broken loose. Well, that's the same thing. You got to figure it out and heal it. Because you have to understand that you're above the brain. Brain is not you, and you're not the brain. Brain is an organ. So fucks up. So you, as the boss, as the master, as the wisdom, as the intelligence, intellect, as the awareness, because none of these that I just said is the brain. Brain is not intelligent. Brain is not the awareness. Brain is not the smarts. It's an organ. It has a job to do, and it does the job. That's it. Hmm? It's very powerful to make your body react to what it wants it to react to. It's very powerful into suggestion and things and create havoc in your life, but it is not in the same level as you are. You're the boss of the brain. There are aspects of a mind and you that the brain cannot even reach. That's according to neuroscience and expert experiments of Dr. Speary, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owen, Dr. Libet, and this was collected by Dr. Egnar in his report, which I've made a video on it. And in fact, I encourage you all to watch this video that I've always asked for you guys to watch. It is called You Are Not the Brain. And this is a long video, but it's packed with lots of good information that every one of you should know. Enjoy it with tea and see some of it, 10, 15 minutes of it, and then another 10, 15 minutes some other time, so it won't overwhelm you or get you kind of bored because of lots of information and talk there. But it's very useful for you to know. So I put the link up there for you all. All right. And Pat says, Pat Santos, New York 27. Oh, okay, we talked about that right now. And Muhammad Omar says, laughing my ass off. The general going off. Ah, you got it. You guys piss me off sometimes because I've created over 3,000 videos for you discussing relationship breakups, the movement of the psyche, OCD, HOCD, substance of OCD, intrusive thoughts, all the components of the brain that is involved in the bullshit that you guys are all each going through, and millions of people going through of these things. But this information are already there. If you research it, work of Dr. Schwartz, work of Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Weiner, work of Dr. Speary, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owen, Dr. Libet, all these brilliant people talking about neuroscience of habit, psychology, psychotherapy. You got to endow yourself with this information so you won't be bamboozled by the bullshit of the brain, buying into that the brain is your intellect. Brain is you, what you do, what you say. It's a brain. Fuck the brain. It's a fucking nothing more than an intestine. It farts, it shits, it gets diarrhea, and you got to help it, heal it. You're above the brain. You're not the brain. Brain is not you. So the thought that are appeared in your head by the brain is not you either. They're thoughts of an organ that is not you to begin with. All right. Now, calm down, Maron. Calm down. So Aman says, I don't like sports or working out. I mean, I'm not very fond of it. Not that I'm lazy, but I notice I've low stamina, so I need to work out seriously. But how to keep work out when I have less interest? Bring the amount of workout down. Go to the gym for 30 minutes to 45 minutes max. Do whatever few things and don't do heavy. Just do something that is pleasant, but decrease the duration of each rep. You can get the similar or the same kind of a result on development of your muscles in weighting somewhat safe but heavy lifts, or lifting lightweight but taking longer for each rep. Let's say if you take a 30-pound dumbbell, which I know it's too much for you with the way you describe yourself, but I'm just making an example, and you do this. Okay, fine. But you can get the same development and effect on your biceps if you get a 20-pound one or 15-pound one, and instead of do this, slower rep. Slower rep gets more of the fibers of the muscles involved. They all have to come to help. And it's a lighter rep, but slower rep. And before you know it, you get a buzz, you get a burn in there much faster you would get it necessarily from a heavier weight. While it's safer for you, it's easier for you, and you don't feel like, oh God, I gotta go work and lift all those heavy weights. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go, and you don't go. Motivate yourself that it's so short. I'm going to be there half an hour, 45 minutes, and I'm going to do light weights. It's just going to take longer. This longer, though, needs a little patience. You may get tired of that itself because you're doing it slow. But there's a happy medium you can find. Not 15, not 30, maybe 20, and then do just 2 sets of 10 each instead of 3. Or 1 set of 10 at the beginning, and then go on to other 2 more exercises of body parts, and then go home. Half an hour and 45 minutes. And then you can, do a little bit of stretching and go home. Make it fun. Until you feel ready and you want to do more, then you will do more because you choose to. And Saluberry says 27 Minnesota. My wife lives in Guinea or New Guinea. Guinea. And she's 4 months pregnant, but we don't communicate. But I take care of my responsibilities. I send her money. She has to she has too much pride and she does not call me. Well, she argue with me and always want me to apologize. Oh, well, that's the way it is. So you just wake up every morning, and if she's around, you just say, "Good morning, dear. I am sorry." And she says, "What?" She says, "Well, for the things I've done that I didn't notice, and for the things I'm about to do today that I don't know what they are, that might not please you." You keep doing that a few times, she'll get the message, and you'll both laugh about it, and things may change. And Sid says, in my case, at the moment, it is not about running away from Manchester, but I just don't like my job and want a new one and go elsewhere. I see. Well, okay, you can get there. But right now, focus on completing this. Because by defying it and being resistant to what is needed to complete this job, you won't get where you want to go. You get a bad resume and bad review and bad um, relationship with your mentor, with your professor. That's not going to help in the long run. So just be a diplomat, play the game, and accomplish it as best as you can, and then find out if there are other opportunities in the same place, or it's time for you to go somewhere else. But don't drop the ball as far as your relationship with where you are. Don't burn bridges. And I'm sure you understand that. All right. Alice, male, 19, Philippines. Ah, okay. You have to have more patience, Alice. You're very young right now. Let me go to Alice. Alice says, I used to be in love with someone because she's pretty, but the more I knew her, the more I fell in love. She casually checks on me, asks if I was okay, having problems, and comforts me. Now I find a girl that cares about my mental health. Okay, I don't know which message is first, but I'm just dealing with them as I'm finding them. Male 19, Philippines. Okay, you're very young, so be patient to find what you're looking for. And Prikas, male 24, Switzerland, says, I had a very good relationship with parents of my ex. After breakup, she told them that I am the bad guy, and they didn't even respond to my thank you message for all what they did for me. Don't worry, move on. If that's what she said, then you don't need to give her any attention. Move on. Nothing bad has happened to you. Just somebody did something not wise, and parents obviously they're going to side with her. They're their parents, just like your parents would side with yours. So don't be bothered. What they do, they say, they react, or they think, this doesn't change you or your chances and success in the world. Just move on. Alexander Kisiorlu says, yes, but my grandparents were Greeks from the War of Constantinople. Oh, I see. Then you are Turk, but you're living in Greece, and grandparents were Greeks. Okay, all right. Ayo says hi, Miran. Hello. Pat Santos says thank you. You're welcome. I don't know why, but you're welcome. Stephen, you're still at it. Like it doesn't matter what I say, you're still focusing on your memories about her. I was thinking yesterday of all things I did do for her and how we spent every day together. It actually made me really upset that she just bailed on the relationship like that. You constantly think that there should be a logic and mannerism in everybody's life and mentality. That's not the case. Why are you surprised? Human being is a real fucked up creature. They go after their own interests and their own selfishness, and they want to blame other people for what they're supposed to be responsible. So why is it so surprising to you? Stephen says, and how when she broke up with me, she had an attitude and treated me like I was nobody. Before she was so nice. And well, that tells you about her. It doesn't tell you about you. You constantly think that what other people say is more valuable than what you see and say. No, just look at her. It's a miserable way of dealing with things. She doesn't have the guts and the clarity to come clean. To say, okay, Stephen, we were together for a while, but I want to go somewhere else. I want to do something else. So da da da. Thank you very much. No, she doesn't have that mannerism. So why are you surprised? Why do you think she should have? That's the girl that you were with. You know, that's her capabilities. Well, you made an angel out of him, and you expect them to behave in a certain way that is not in their capabilities. So don't be surprised. Again, you got to focus on the things that I said. So I'm worried about starting over, not finding out. See, this is what we talked about. You're constantly looping the same shit. It's the same thing you had before. You were worried about not finding somebody. You found this one. And you said, oh, this one was better than the other one. Now you're going to find somebody else that obviously is going to be better than this one because you're now more experienced to know what you're looking for, where you shouldn't be paying attention to, so you can see the signs better. But your impatience and negativity has taken over your logic, and you're just rambling on with all negativity and thinking what you think is a final. The negative thing that comes to your brain, you think that's how it's going to be, as if it's the ruler of the universe, your brain. That's how it's going to be because I thought of it that way. Therefore, it's not going to be any different. That's exactly how it's going to be. I'm going to think it's going to be difficult for me to find anybody, and I don't want to find. It'll never happen. And that's your conclusion. From what? From some fucked up piece of shit up here that obviously is going bonkers. But you believe that this idiot up here knows it all and the wise of the world, and what it says is the law. How the fuck does he know what's going to happen tomorrow? With all its power over your body, doesn't fucking know shit about tomorrow or an hour from now or a minute from now. Have you thought of that? You're giving too much credit to your bullshit brain. So sorry, Marian, just the thought I'm having. Then stop having these shitty thoughts. There are lots of kind of thoughts, but you're not supposed to interpret them or pay attention to them. All kind of negative thoughts come to the brain. You're supposed to say, fuck it, I don't give a shit. Whatever. You're not supposed to take them as if they're facts or they have some kind of a rooted logic in there. No, it's coming from your asshole. No different. It's an intestine, it's an organ. It malfunctions, it shuts out not the way it should. Kidney, liver, they could be mixed up with the enzyme that you should produce and they malfunction. Brain, It can malfunction. It does all the time. Intrusive thoughts and all that shit is that's what it is. But you take him as if only this malfunction is not a malfunction, but everything else, I can understand they're malfunctioning. I'll go heal them. I gotta heal this too. See it as it's gone crazy every time you break up. And many people don't even break up and it's gone wacko. You got to be aware of that. Esdur says 32 female, Arizona. Thank God we have a female on the talk. Maybe there's some reasonability here. Welcome. Says, what should one do if they're constantly being accused of cheating? Just you say, what the fuck? And they're thinking of me as a cheater. Anyhow, let me go cheat. At least I'll have some fun. Then it wouldn't bother you when they call you cheater. So yeah, right you are. Who cares what they say? Some people call other people cheaters. Some people call them thieves. Some people call them unfair. Some people call them arrogant. But is it the fact? Because the fact and the truth doesn't change because somebody uttered something else about you. If you think you're pretty, it doesn't matter how many people say you're ugly, it doesn't make you ugly. If you like something and somebody says, oh, you don't like it, it doesn't change. You still like it. If you don't like something and somebody says, oh, you like that one, I'm sure you like it. No, you won't. So it really doesn't matter what they say. But the thing is, you think what other people think is more valuable and credible than what you think. Why? Why? Because you say, my world and the image I want people to see me as is in the hands and the control of others. I want them to see me as the image I want them to have. And when they say I'm a cheater, that changes the image that I want them to know me by, and that bothers me. Yes, okay, then change those friends. Find new friends. Complete new circle. The ones who are behaving that way and saying that way, don't associate with them. They're assholes. Why do you want to keep staying and changing a donkey who doesn't want to learn you're a friend and you're bringing food for it, and it keeps wanting to buck you and hit you? He's an idiot. Go feed another donkey. If these friends are friends, friends don't badmouth the others, so they're not friends. So why you still want to be in contact with them? You got to have certain standards for friends. They're not friends. They're saying shit about you. And if they're saying shit about you, you change them. You don't associate with them until they change. You don't have to prove to them that you're not a cheater. You just have to free yourself from being associating with them because they're idiots. Simple. It doesn't change facts because they're saying something. Esther says, thank you. It's awesome seeing you do videos still. Seeing you do videos still. I've been watching you for 8 years. Oh, really? Cool. Esther, did you change your screen name? I don't remember that. Says, wow, that's deep. Amen. What did I say? I got to listen to what I said. To learn some of the deep stuff just comes out. I don't know. Okay. Says, thanks, so true, lol. And lol again. And haha, and true. Oh, Esther has been narrating and commenting as I've been talking, I guess. Says, right. Okay, thank you for that. And Prika says, how can an ex jump to another relationship 1 week after breakup, 5 years relationship, and open her body to another one that quick? When I think of it, I see my ex as a dirty and disgusting person. Well, it's not 1 week. She's been thinking about it for the past few months, and it just didn't tell you about it. And why do you question the why? How can one do? How the way that she did. Some people are like that. They have no manners or no emotions, and they're just fucked up. It's their problem. It's not your problem. Why are you bothered by it? It's a shortcoming of theirs that they're capable of doing something that takes them away from real, balanced human being. And at the same time, don't believe, she's obviously been thinking about it and preparing for it. It's not just 1 week after, it's been few months. She broke up with you 6 months ago, just didn't tell you. And she's been trying to see this guy or whoever it is for that long, probably, or a few months at least. It's not 1 week. Don't be so naive. And Stuart says, I did change it. Oh, and Indu says, you're talking awesome. Okay. Thank you very much. I love you too. And thank you for the kind words. All right, guys, it looks like it's 1 hour and 20 minutes. And we've answered all the questions. And I hope that it's been enjoyable and helpful. So it's time for me, I guess, to mosey on and do something else. We don't have any more questions. So that's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good together, or be good to what? Be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.